record was kind of influenced by a lot of strange things. I feel like places influenced this record.
Yeah.
Like the general, the South in general influenced this record. The mood of the South, the vibe of the South, just touring. We tried to, or we didn't even try to, we just ended up pulling from a lot of places and a lot of things that we normally wouldn't pull from. There were definitely, writers and poets who influenced this record, but there's not really a lot of direct pulls, I guess you could say. This was more of like a close your eyes and kind of do what comes out type of deal. I'd say if there was one guy that would have any type of influence on this record directly, it would be this poet named Jeffrey McDaniel that I discovered about a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe. I kind of fell in love with everything he does, and one poem in particular that kind of, for me lyrically, like influenced everything that I did on this record.
We were supposed to work with Corey, and then when we were out in LA, our schedules kind of did not work at all with each other. But it worked out for the better just because we kind of realized that the core of this band is the 4 dudes that are currently in the band, and we wanted to keep everyone else out. So the collaborations that were supposed to happen kind of fell apart, but it was for the better, I guess, for the betterment of the rest of the record. And but speaking of Slipknot, like Corey's voice is fucking incredible, and me and Ryan had the privilege to go see Slipknot back in the wintertime, and we didn't know what to expect. Like, obviously there's always like the cliches of like the new metal kids running around with their weird haircuts and shitty jeans and whatnot, and we went there and it was awesome, and we had so much fun. Like, they put on one of the best fucking rock and roll show, like a rock and roll show, like with like pyrotechnics, screens, explosions, smoke, like guitar solos. It was great. I had a ball.
And even if you took that shit away, like, those dudes are passionate about what they do. They can play, and
they can rip. Everyone in that band rips.
You can knock that band for the masks and the outfits and shit like that, and it may not necessarily be for us, but I respect what that band does, and I get it. Like, I totally am into what that band does, and I think it's fucking cool. I'm into it.
I wish we could tour with them.
Yeah.
They seem like they'd be really fun.
Yeah, I really have an insane amount of respect for everyone in that band, especially Corey, because we both worked with the same vocal teacher, and she's been, telling me stories for years about Corey, and kind of holds him up as an example and compares him to me with a lot of the trouble that I've had vocally, as well as he had in the past. So, yeah.
It's much more focused than our last record. We kind of are starting to figure out what our band should sound like. As for the last record, we kind of were everywhere, all over the place, all the time, and now we kind of are more in a place where we like more simplistic arrangements and more like simplistic parts in general, just played with a lot of feel and a lot of passion.
We rushed our last record and had a heart attack when we listened back. I think a lot of fans would be like, I know fans have told me when they've heard us say that, oh, you're crazy, why we love that record, do you guys not like it or whatever? And it's not that we didn't like our last record, it's just that we hear something different, just like any other artist that puts out a record or a painting or whatever. You'll never actually get to see or hear what other people see or hear. It's the same thing I can imagine if you're an actor and you do a movie, you might, if someone sees a particular scene as this emotional, crazy, unbelievable thing, that actor might be watching that and be thinking about the fact that he had the worst day ever and he didn't do what he wanted to do with that scene, and he sees the trailers that were in the background and the location that they actually shot at and the people and everything that went on there. They don't, we don't hear the same thing that everyone else hears, and it's important for a band to really be connected to their records, in my opinion, and it's nice to put out things that everyone else likes and make people happy, but we really want to be stoked on our records too. So this time around, we just want to make sure that it's all that it can be, and that it's not perfect, but that we're happy with it. That it's what we wanted it to be. So we've got a few more things to finish up, and we figured rather than rushing it, we're going to go home after this tour, finish it up, and it'll be out early next year.
In the summer heat, with red iron feet, you'll be nervous.